What's up, baby? It's the Dark Horses Grizzly-O.
And Tomahawk, baby, what's up?
We're on the 3 Count podcast here with Red Dog, and we're ready to go.
You know it.
I'm in fashion. Welcome everybody to another great edition of the 3 Count podcast presents Now Entering the Ring, and now I'm your host Clifford Red Dog Miller. That's right, the man that leads you up this mountain called wrestling. That's right, and like I've been asking you for so many of these episodes, it's time that you guys just say, okay, just fess up to it, just get to knowing it. I am your Sherpa, but like every good Sherpa, you got to have someone who's been there, done that, and can do it more efficiently than you can. And that's why it's never about me. It's about who's entering the ring. So who's entering the ring today? That's right. They come to us from EWA, ATCW, C3W, Icon Pro Wrestling, School of Morton. They are the best kept secret in the DMV. Thanks to Tomahawk, Grizzly-O, they are the Dark Horses.
Hey,
What's up, man?
Appreciate that.
Appreciate the love, for real.
Right
That was nice. That was nice.
Hell yeah, man. So full transparency for everybody who's like wanting to know like how this happened. We met actually at C3W last summer. And then we kind of like, I was watching you guys work and I was like, yo, I'm a huge fan. I was like, I need to get these guys on the podcast. And I kind of like, I'm not in front, like I didn't like just kind of like slip my memory and then just like continue on. But then we ran into each other at EWA.
Yep.
And I was like, oh yeah, I was like, I want to get these guys on the podcast. And I'm like working, trying to figure out how I was going to get into EWA. And fortunately, I actually had the pleasure of getting to work with Tomahawk. And then from there, it was like, hey, yo, I got this podcast and I want to get you guys on.
Yeah, no, for sure. It was it was definitely like a crazy moment because, I walked in and it was like, I didn't even know who I was working, you know what I mean? So it was like kind of like we're doing the tournament tapings and like I just walked in there completely like I had no clue. So it was dope to get to see you in there and be like, and especially we get to work and put on a good match. Wish there was a crowd, but you know what I'm saying? It's all good, we got to do what we got to do. We put in work.
It was definitely one of the highlights of the entire tournament, too, for real. Just watching it from the outside in and being a competitor in it. You guys killed it. It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun, too. Like, what made it even better was, like, it was, like, this quick, like, 7-minute match that just, like, it was hard-hitting. Like, I feel like, aside from, like, your guys' match that you guys end up having, like, in the show, right, at EWA's show, it was, like, I felt like it was, like, one of those hard-hitting matches that I don't think people really expected to find. And, like, you got it right there. And, like, all the aspects of it was, like, a cool story being told. That was, like, two dudes who are just obviously like trying to one up and one guy being a heel and I had to jump you from behind. Sorry, man. It's just hey, money and contract, man. That's what it works.
Really, man. That's how it goes.
But yo, it was
on both sides of that fence, baby.
Sure,
you know how
sure.
it is. We know how it is.
We don't hate. We understand every move that's made. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Low key, it's a privilege when people got to do that type of thing to us. Even though it sucks and we're on the bad end of it. We get it, we've earned that. People see the Dark Horses, or even if they don't know us, they size us up and they're like, yo, I might have to jump this dude.
I appreciate it 100%, but I gotta ask because like right off the jump, I want to know who are the Dark Horses.
Till as old as time, baby.
For real. As you said it earlier on, we feel that we are the best kept secret in the DMV, right? When it comes to professional wrestling. We are also the Moco Mac Daddies, right? We are your baby mom's favorite tag team.
I don't know.
Right? But what we also are first and foremost is brothers, right? Life, dictated that. We're not. It's not blood, but life definitely dictated the route that we ended up taking in life. We were the Dark Horses before pro wrestling. You know what I mean? On several different stages or facets of life. You know what I mean? Whether it was sports or even just going through the things that life threw at us.
Yep. Nah, and it's like when it comes down to the wrestling aspect of it, you know what I'm saying? Like, just even defining what a dark horse is, you know what I'm saying? It's someone that's not meant to be successful. Right, you go through like a dark horse, you go through an underdog, everyone on the planet thinks that the person ain't gonna win. That person's not gonna succeed. The underdogs and the dark horses don't think that way. They think they're the top dogs. They think they're going to be doing what they're supposed to do. And I think throughout our career and our life, just living, I think we proved that to not only to ourselves, but everyone that doubts us.
So yeah, no, it's funny because you guys are mentioning it like you guys were like always, always being looked down on and stuff like that, but you're always like seeming to come back and to keep pushing back. And I relate to you guys' story because I know even for me, like high school was just like people were just always writing me off. And then to hear, some people will be like, hey, you know what, you're never gonna do those things that you want to do. And yet you always find a way to like accomplish those things. So watching you guys work, I'm like, I can see the story being told that you guys always feel like you have something bigger to prove and you guys keep pushing up the mountain. So it's definitely cool to see you guys have that story to be able to relate to it.
No, I appreciate that. That's really cool. Because at the end of the day, like what we do is storytelling, right? It is the art of storytelling. It is a different medium than most, I guess, perceive it as, right?
Mhm.
But when we go out there, I think one of the golden rules that we always have in our mind is no wasted space, no wasted movement.
Yeah.
Right. Of course, you don't succeed all the time, right? But you aim for that. You aim for that 100% like hit rate on that goal. And the closer you get to it, the better the match for sure every time.
Yeah, definitely. I like that too. And I'm just I just need to know, like, what drove you into getting into the sport?
It's getting choppy again.
Yeah, it's chopping out a bit.
Damn.
Say one more time. Sorry.
What got you into the sport?
Oh man. I know a quick answer for him is Shawn Michaels. I mean, that's like his God even to this day. You know what I'm saying? Like at a young age, we watched wrestling. We was watching wrestling at a very, very young age. You know what I'm saying? And then, when we met in 6th grade, I mean, for the most part, it's like that's how we connected. You know what I'm saying? Every day after school, we're going back, we're watching, old school VHSs, you know what I'm saying, playing like PlayStation 1, SmackDown, you know what I'm saying, playing N64.
PlayStation 2 came out. We're getting all the games on there.
Yeah, so we were literally just like so infatuated with this like lifestyle, I mean, not just the sports entertainment aspect, but the lifestyle that it all brought, you know what I'm saying, the bigger than life, you always hear people saying the same stuff about that, but it's, it's not a cliche if it's true. Like it's so true that it just resonated with us so much, like on such a big scale, you know what I'm saying? And but I give most of the credit for this dude. I mean, he started out well, you lost your job, right?
Yeah, essentially it was my position was eliminated from the company I was working at. I had received a severance package, and I was like, damn, what am I gonna do, right? Because after working for so long, I was like, damn, I don't have anything that's mine. I could clearly lose something like this at any point in time, even if I'm, just doing my thing. I was like, man, I've always wanted to be a pro wrestler. Took the money, moved my ass to Hagerstown from the DMV, Silver Spring area, Montgomery County. I moved to Hagerstown, started at the House of Pain, paid up the school up front for a year, paid up also my rent out there, really did the thing for a while. They were asking me to if I wanted to be a part of a tag team. And there was a name out there that I definitely thought of, right? And but even then in my heart and in my head, this guy, I mean, this is what we had talked about, right? Like he's sitting there talking about the video games. Yo, we could have always sat there and played against each other, which we did, of course. But like, yo, tag team wrestling, it was always something we did, right? Winning the master, everybody's finishing moves, all the cool moments, little things you could end up doing as the games develop. We always wanted to be that, and sometimes it's surreal. We're sitting there after a show, chatting with the boys and chatting amongst ourselves, and the conversations we're having is very reminiscent of those days when we played the video game, and then probably eating pizza later on, talking about what we did in the game, and it's like now we do it in real life.
And and it comes down to like, I mean, we grew up watching like all these amazing tag teams. I mean, with like the Attitude Era had so many characters and so many absolute like just like kind of like revolutionized tag team wrestling for the most part. I mean, you had the Edge and Christian, Dudley Boys, Hardy Boys, but then like even had like Too Cool, you had X-Pac and Kane, APA. You had all of these like these tag teams that were like, because every storyline mattered in the Attitude Era. You feel me? Like everything mattered. So all these tag teams were just so filled with character, and they gave him so much time on like screen time that just resonated with us. Like, man, we can really like go out and do anything we want.
A lot is said about the heavyweight picture at that time, right? In terms of like how everybody was like a top contender, and every guy thought that they should be the guy, right? That was the case in the tag team division too. And if any single tag team, let's rank them like 1 through 10, you would almost believe every single team could be that tag team champion, the moment they won it. And that's something we want to recreate within ourselves and with anybody that steps in the ring with us, right? On any given night, even if you don't see yourself as that, we're going to make you feel that way. We're going to make you feel for one night only. You know what? Yo, we went out there and we recreated the same stuff we grew up on.
Yo, I like that though. And I definitely like it was funny because like when we were playing our match, originally Tomahawk, like we were talking back and we legit were talking about, well, yeah, we could just kind of slow play it. And then we saw like every other match was like kind of like slow played.
Oh yeah.
And then the moment that we're like, then you came with the idea of like, hey, we're gonna change this on the fly, we're gonna do this, and I was like, bet, let's run it. And you're right, like even in that, that match, I was like, dude, like I was like, I'm showing this match to everybody. It's like, because it's just fire. Because you're right, like I got done, I was like, yo, I had so much fun. I was like, I felt like this was like the superstar type moment kind of like match that you would have with somebody. So yeah.
And I had a blast doing it. And like, the one thing that, I mean, obviously you're in the game, you know what I'm saying? You've been doing this for quite some time too. So that like there's people in the back that just don't watch the matches before them, you know what I mean? And like for us, we're like, dude, like fuck that. Like we want to really like see what's going on out there, because you don't want to give like, even though we didn't have a crowd, even though it was a taping, like you don't want to give like the same match back to back. You don't want to see nobody wants to see the same spots over and over and over with two different costumes on. Like you want to see something different and unique. And I think that me and you definitely gave like a very hard hitting, fast paced, and then broke it down. And then I think that it was a nice change of pace for the whole tournament itself. For sure. I mean, like even with him, like Grizzlies, apologies, broke the fourth wall on him. But
we already
but like with his matches, like he had like the big man versus little man, and like there was not like for the most part. I mean, I think that Anthony dude, he had one that was like that, but that was pretty much like he just crushed that little dude. But like his was like with Eddie Bloss. I mean, that was an amazing match because
and
it was something different on the card. You know,
there was a story to be told. Like again, even on the way up to the show, we're like, yo, we hate when tournaments get played, right? Because the concept of a tournament should be beautiful, right? Like every match, you should believe that every single guy that is walking in those ropes has a chance to get to the next round at the very least, right? Right. So when we sit there and do that, like you guys brought that hard hitting match, and you know what's crazy? Something that happens between us a lot is the way we work. We're so in tune. We've been doing our singles thing for a bit now, and we'll see things that we both like called, and we're like, wow. Yeah. And we do it slightly different. It's like a 5% tweak, but it's like, damn, we call the same. You guys went with, you guys had the, you got jumped, right? You jumped him, right? Eddie, I was like, oh, damn. I was like, yo, you're gonna kick me in my nuts and then talk trash. You're not gonna start all the way hot, like you know what I mean? Like, because we had already called it. We had called it almost the same start, and I was like, no, now you're gonna sit there and talk your trash, because we also had a story. Eddie's been in a bunch of stuff with me where he's always on the short end of the stick. Right. So what better way to make it believe that he's really about to pull the carpet from under me to move on to the next round, right? He finally gets a one-on-one moment with me. And I really wanted to, the guy puts in work, you know what I mean? So I wanted him to feel like he had a fight like that too. And at the end of the day, like, took it right from under him. You know what I mean? Hit him with a belly to belly off the second, and 1, 2, 3. But it was fun.
Yeah, it's definitely cool. Like, especially because when you look at something like in a tournament, right? You want to believe, like, when you look at the list, like everybody on that tournament is going to win regardless, right? Yeah. And it's something that I feel like, and it's thanks for saying I've been in for a while, but I've only been in for I've just been for over 2 years now. But it's one of those cool things that you figure out like pretty quick that like everything has to be unique about you. Like when you're in a tournament, right? Whether it's the match play or your gear or the way you just like carry yourself, even your character work has to be different from everybody else to make you believe that you're the individual who's gonna like stand through it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And like watching certain matches on certain programs, and I'm not just throwing out one, but there's tons of them out there. It feels like it's like either like the big guy, little guy matchup like every show, or you'll have like the 5 superstars on one side and like the 5 dudes who maybe could do it, and then you're just like, I don't believe that like one of the guys from the superstar side clearly is gonna win this. But it was definitely fun, like seeing something different in like the aspect of like your match, and then obviously like Tomahawk and I's match. But even like my match that I ran with Sean Raymond, right? Like right before that, like full transparency, somebody may have said that was like one of the best matches they've seen Sean have, and I was like, that's very cool. I appreciate that. I was like, I really just kind of like sold a lot for him and like made it like everything look bigger. But I was like, in the aspects of everything, it was cool to be able to be attached to something like that, and then go from like this kind of style match into like this hard hitting fest, and just kind of show a versatile of the versatility that I have like in my game. So you guys clearly have been able to adjust and move through your guys' this time. So I need to know, like, through you guys' experience that you guys have with every tag team, like, what is like one thing that you've been able to pull away from each of you guys' matchups that like have molded Dark Horses into who they are today?
Well, I mean, I would say like starting off, the first, like maybe like 3-4 years, we had the tag team out of House of Pain in West Virginia, out in EPPW. They had a company called EPPW. It's the Crucial Impact. I mean, I think that was like the first tag team that like really, truly, like we worked well with. We had insane chemistry and we learned so much from them because they've been in the game for as long as they were vets to us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like even to this day, like we'll hit them up and be like, it's just like love, man. Like we had so much respect and like, it was insane how much of a hump they got us over. I think just off of like psychology and like technique alone. That was one of the biggest eye openers. Like, all right, man, we can like, yeah, we're doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing. We're on the path to learning more and doing more. And they definitely were the first ones that like really pushed us to that level, I think, for sure. I think just starting off with it, but we had,
Yeah. One of the things that stands out the most about us with them, they have certain core moments burned in my head that when I look back, I'm like, that looked like TV.
Yeah.
Right. And the crowd reacted the right way. One of the main ones, he caught one of them, the old Flair finish. Hit the tombstone on the chair for the win. I remember seeing that, the lighting in the place, the crowd reaction, everything perfect. It was perfect, right? And those guys allowed us to really experience those moments first with them. And I think one of the things goes back to what you were just saying prior to this is about the selling, right? When we stepped in the ring with them, we understood what they meant to the area and the history behind them.
So like just to cut in real quick, like we call it Dark Horse, we're DMV's best kept secret. That's West Virginia's best kept secret. Like the Crucial Impact should have been like, and I'm not saying that by any means, I'm not taking away from what they did, but like these are guys that could have been TV if they wanted to do that. Like, like if they wanted to, they could have done that. Like no problem. These guys were really just really good.
Yeah.
But I didn't mean to cut you. I just had to say
no, because that is well deserved for real, man. And then in a shout out to them, even after that, they chose to give back by creating a company and creating a platform for everybody. That was amazing. But again, these guys really pushed us. And I guess because they saw we were so willing, right? Like again, the selling, the willing to do things in the ring, right? To create those moments. Those guys, they sat there and rode that wave with us, right? Absolutely. They took all that stuff that we wanted to do, that they, I guess, always wanted to do, and have a team that was as game, right? Because they're the closest thing to us that we've ever faced, right? They're just as much as brothers as we are, right? And with more time in the game than us. And so to really pick their brains, whether it was us going toe to toe and really throwing the hands the way we were, or in the back of the locker room talking about whatever we needed to talk about. They were
just like life in general. I mean, they were really good guys,
for sure.
And they're retired. They hung up the boots, but definitely like one of the early like just game changers for us. I think as a tag team, getting the EWA was probably the second like I think like holy shit moment for us. Like being able to have EWA as our like home base for so long. And really hone it in and be able to work all these tag teams and, be on, like we said, one side of the fence or the other. That, we learned from a lot of like very talented people, like very talented. I mean, when we were Supremacy, I mean, we had, TJ Sykes and later Pat Anthony. Like, then those two guys in the area are like some of the most knowledgeable guys you can be around.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Corey Bush, I consider Corey Bush like our teacher.
Yeah.
Like, that's my mentor to this day. Like, I talk to this man like every day. Like, he has helped us in the wrestling business for psychology and just everything for the most part.
Continually pushed us.
Yeah.
Right?
From the start. You know what I mean? So
the phrase iron sharpens iron. It's the Dark Horses and Corey Bush sharpening each other, but then he finds ways for us to further push us in the competition that we've always had within us to just be the best we are and then be the best when we're together, right? Corey even finds ways to do that for us, and very few people can, you know what I mean? And that's a gift.
Absolutely.
No, it's cool that you guys said like you have guys, your mentors that you guys kind of like rely on. And I think that's like one thing that helps like within just like life, right? Not even just like in the wrestling, but with life. But in wrestling is very big, important, and it's something I've kind of started to take on and just like learn is that you gotta have like good mentors, like always around you. Like you gotta have someone that like it could be like they may get annoyed, but at 2:00 in the morning you might text them and they might give you back an answer. Not to say that I've ever done it, thought about it, but never done it. But you know, you're just looking for that person. You're like, hey man, like there's this thing going on, and I just kind of figure out how I can do this to be better.
Right.
And then you know, you kind of, and then they answer you, and then you're just like, thanks for staying up and talking with me about
Absolutely.
it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Well,
you're always looking for that person to sharpen you.
Yeah, and I think for us, I mean, we've had, you know, we've had such an unorthodox upbringing in this business. Like one of the reasons why we're dark horses, you know what I mean? Still, like everything falls in line. This is not a gimmick. It's like literally us. Like, you know what I mean? Like as cliche as that sounds, it really is, because how we got into this business. I mean, starting at House of Pain in Hagerstown, you know what I mean? Like that, learning how we learned on the fly, just based off that was just kind of how they ran things. You know what I'm saying? Like we would have 2 shows a week. We would have 2 trainings a week. But the 2 shows were in front of crowds, 20, 30 people, if that, 10, 5 sometimes. But it was twice a week. I mean, I was in a battle royal before I even had a training session for the most part. My training sessions was with him. And he was only in the game for a year before me. So like there was this stigma, I think, for a while, but it took us a little bit of time to kind of find the people to truly learn a lot from and really like bring the best out of us in. And, you know, there was guys like we said, like TJ Sykes, you know, we had Corey Bush, Robbie Page was a huge one. Like Butch Hess on like more like a life level. Like I always have love for that guy. Dick Karakoff was always showed us love. You know what I mean? So we've had Chucky Manson. I mean, we've had these guys that really like kind of like took us under their wing and, like I said, kind of brought us to the levels while teaching us what we needed to know to like stay there and move on above it. So we had a very, very different way of upbringing in this, and like, you know, because of that stigma and that reputation, you know what I'm saying, it's been a road for us. It's been a road, but we love adversity. We love it.
For real. And it's crazy like, when he says like when you step in that ring, all of us have something to prove, right? But we definitely feel that our reputation is literally like at stake every time we step in that ring, because there is this stigma around how we've come up, how we may be perceived. So as soon as we step in the ring, almost every single time we step in that ring with somebody, we feel like, oh, they believe that hype, right? Once that bell has rang at the end of the match, we know they don't.
Yeah,
you know, you feel it throughout the match. Yeah, you know, you start to feel more of that. Okay, this guy isn't what I thought he is, and we're gonna go out here and do our best to make a masterpiece, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, you're right. So I'm curious, with all the matches that you guys have had, what's the worst bump you guys have taken?
You want to go first? Because I got a few. I got to run them through my head real quick.
Bump. Actually, our first match at EWA was we went up there just to meet Jim Christian, just to meet the owner, and you know, just do our networking thing. You know, I guess the tag team had like called out or they couldn't show, so they threw us in a triple threat #1 contender. I think
we went from going to network,
pre-show to having our first cage match for the in a new company at their biggest show of the year. You know, their cage match is usually the biggest show of the year
for the #1 contender show.
Yeah, right. So that was and it was a triple threat, and I took like a running knee, I think, or something like that, and like I completely ate like knee straight to my temple and like knocked me out for a bit. And I was, you know, that was one of the roughest ones, just because like I think I was like, I'm gonna eat this shit in a new company. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna make this look good, but like I didn't turn that too quick and just completely ate a knee. And I was like down. I was like, oh dude, we got like 10 more minutes of this match left. This was not a good idea. But yeah, I was seeing stars, and you know, I was sensitive to light for a couple of days. So that was I had a concussion on that one, but that was one of the gnarly ones.
Yeah. See,
he's had a
see, that was like more one that like, yeah, you called it, but you didn't call it to like, you know, expect it, you know, to be so gnarly, right? Yeah. I got a few that I've called, and I'm like, the guys are always like, for real, dude, like, yeah, and I'm like, yeah, let's do this. Most recent, we set up a ladder on 2 chairs like a table, and I got basically hit with the chariot, our finishing move, right through the ladder, folded instantly. Yeah. It was pretty bad. The relief of just being alive and feeling all my limbs was like the silver lining, though. So I was like, whatever.
Looked clean though. Looked super clean.
It did. This other one I gotta mention because this one was bad. I didn't think it was gonna be this bad, and I guess I'm also leaning on one side, and that's what made it hurt really bad. EWA, the school, right? You seen the setup, the garage door. For lighting reasons, they had it like set up halfway. I just called getting Irish whipped right into it. Hit that thing back, smack the ground. Now that's those two right there for real.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because you mentioned like a hit, and like the one thing that I like Tomahawk in our match, like you were doing that cannonball spot, and I remember like leaning on the second rope, and I was like, yo, I was sitting on the rope too, and I was in a buckle, and I was like, yeah. And so I didn't even lean. I was like, it is what it is. I'm just gonna take this. And then like as you came in, you try to adjust, and I was like, nah. And I just remember like eating it all, and I just remember like hitting the buckle, and I was like, I should have definitely ducked.
Well, just be happy that you don't got a picture like Mr. Jones does of like this like super slow-mo like high def camera, and it's like the frame of this like my face right now, and it's like my ass just like right in his shit like that, like the old Brisk commercials. Yeah, just like sweat flying off his face, and I'm like, dude, you should have tucked. Like, what's going on? But yeah, no, my cannonball, yeah, I kind of find that thing, man.
If there are two things that I'm always a fan of of having the best seat in the house for, is the cannonball and the tomahawk chops. Did you catch any of those? Did you catch any of those chops?
It's hard for him. He wears a vest.
Yeah,
he wears a bulletproof vest. He was a tack vest. I was like, he was. Well, I know he heard it. He had the front row seat against the first round guy. I thought was it Slash Gallagher.
Yeah,
that poor kid. But it's funny because the ref goes up to him. The guy didn't even know he was going to work that night. He came in just to do the training session before.
Always bring your gear. This is a second story.
Literally
said that if you guys hadn't picked it up the first time, I'm gonna say that always bring your gear.
So this dude didn't even know he was going to work, and I'm coming off the big Maryland championship loss. I'm saying I'm going to make this tournament mine, and this dude's been working, I think, like maybe like a year and some change, if that. And I'm trying to kind of like, yo, man, we're just gonna go out there, have a quick, a little back and forth. I'll give you some stuff. It'll be fun. And then right before we hit record on things, hit action. He's like, yeah, sorry for throwing you in with tomahawk. I hope your chest is gonna be okay afterwards. Like right before he hits go, and I'm like, oh man, like I told him I was gonna give him some chops, and he's like, toughen up because I'm not one to toot my own horn. That's for other people to do. But
that's why I did it. That's why I did it, dude.
But yeah, no, kind of nose sold him, but that's okay. It made enough noise. But yeah, I was like, oh, dude. So yeah, they're fun. Chops are fun. What can I say?
Yeah, and the funny thing is like I've had like other matches where like dudes was like unzip don't zip my vest and then throw like their chop in. And yeah, I could wear a vest all I want. I will no sell that chop because I'm gonna be like, it's a vest, it protects me, but it does not stop the pain. Like I still feel
it's more blunt than like the acute and blunt pain. You can dodge the acute pain, right?
Yeah.
The surface pain, but you feel it right in your sternum, probably.
Yeah, I got to. Who did Cade Lothbrock, right? Stockade. He chopped me, and I felt it through the pad, and I swore, I was like, I still feel like a handprint. It was heavy, and I was like, I liked it, but I was like, but I would not want to take this without this vest on. Yo, all right.
It's very fun.
So after a show, after your guys' match, everybody has like their like routine thing that they want to do, but I want to know what's the post-match meal, post-match snack.
Post-match meal snack. I thought the question was going in a different direction.
Nah.
Oh man.
We all do it. No one wants to talk about it. Well, we all know we don't. We talk about, but we got food on the mind. So
I mean, honestly, all right. So like the way you know how you do these long drives. You know what I'm saying? You do all this like, and like as far as our like I said, very unorthodox upbringing. We we lived at House of Pain for some time. Like we were homeless for a while doing this stuff. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like it was a very, like I said, adversity. We thrive off of adversity, and we've had a lot of it. So I mean, there was times that literally like, and I think it's so embedded in us now to this day. Like if we're in West Virginia or Upper Maryland,
Western Maryland,
Western Maryland,
Pennsylvania area, right?
We're hitting
Panhandle.
We're hitting sheets any day of the week because we literally lived on this food. Like the Mott'sburger, like dude, I'm telling you,
the
like
Mott's is his thing. The meatball sub is mine.
Yeah, so like literally, if we would just because I mean, dude, the deals were there. You know what I'm saying? The joint was fire. So like we would always make it a point to stop at a Sheetz probably after a match.
To add to the lore, we just created real quick. Being off the homeless vibes. Our biggest bed was a wrestling ring, right?
That's true.
Which fortunately,
bigger than the California King,
right? Like our feet didn't finally hang off the edge of the bed. We're pretty tall, so we had that. But what's really cool, I don't think a lot of people know this. In that whole Panhandle area, ESPN Classic shows like a bunch of OG just pro wrestling, like from the San Martino era to like the Eddie Gilbert Texas stuff. Yo, we got to see JBL in the tag team. Don't remember who his partner was or the name of the team, but against a team called the Ebony Express, which was the Harlem Heat. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and we got to watch it. We were like, what? So the Mott's and the meatball sub, Sheetz, all that. Like, it's just it's a vibe.
Yeah, totally. I mean, and if we're if it's a good night, you know what I'm saying, we'll splurge for a good old steak, good old fashioned steak for the boys. You know what I mean?
Right.
But majority of the time, it's like, dude, we got to get back. We got stuff to do. Let's hit Sheetz and keep it moving.
Yeah, so it was funny because when I went to Sheetz recently, everybody kept talking about that Dr. Pepper barbecue sauce.
Oh,
I was like, you know what? I was like, I tried it. I was like, I'm glad I did. Not my thing.
I mean, I think it's a little overhyped. It's all right. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I would have put it on meatballs.
I'm saying, the Mott's and the meatball, they're perfect how they are. You know what I'm saying? We wouldn't want to change it for the world. You know what I mean? We don't need no barbecue sauce on that. Less is more sometimes. Exactly.
All right, so moving over to something I really do want to talk about is what's one of the hardest lessons you guys had to learn being in the game?
Reputation is hard to overcome for sure.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the biggest ones that we've had to learn. And we have kids. You know what I mean? Like I have 5 kids. My man has 1 over here. Like maintaining the relationships with the mothers and the missing of the stuff is tough. Very, very tough. I got a lot more dates that I got to make up for him than him. You know what I mean? Because I got so many, but it still doesn't take down the fact that is also a very hard thing. I mean, everyone says it, and it's true. I mean, it's tough. It's tough on the families.
I also understand when a company views you as an asset versus just using you. You know what I mean? And sometimes when you start off with a company, that doesn't mean that every time you walk into a company you're gonna sit there and believe like, oh, I'm the top guy. Like I need to be treated a certain way. No, we definitely always want to earn our keep, right? But at times, you see that people make you believe a certain thing, and then you realize, oh no, that's not the case, and you're really just playing with us.
Yeah.
Right. So reputation, because that is huge. That is definitely huge. As much as anybody wants to, probably blow smoke up their own ass and think that they can do whatever they want and things go unseen. No, you know what I mean? And that reputation will be spoken of, right? The boys will be boys and say what they want to say in that locker room, and that stigma will be created.
Absolutely.
So that, and then again, understanding when you're being viewed as an asset versus just a stepping stone.
Yeah.
No, I like that. I like that a lot. Like, just like know your worth and just like, follow it. Yeah. All right. Well, then, we have all these kids out here who are aspiring to be pro wrestlers. So what kind of advice would you give them?
Find a good school.
Yes. Find a good school.
Don't waste time. Find a good school. and learn it and rock with it and trust your trainers and trust your vets and just keep going with it. You can do all the drives, you can put in all the work. But if you go to a good wrestling school off start, if you put up that bread to go to a pristine school, do it. You save it'll be money, but you're gonna save your body years.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like straight up. And that's just like a fact. I mean, I think I can speak for both of us. We have no regrets about our journey at all. We've had amazing times. We have low and high, and we're right now we're feeling pretty high on our dreams. Like right now, I think we're doing, we're happy with where we are, but there were times in that journey that were brutal. Absolutely like
you felt like brutal. Where's the next move? Right. And usually when you do, go to those better schools, you get pipelined into better situations, right? You meet bigger names, not that the name size matters or whatever, but the knowledge, right? Yeah. Possibly who they may know if they see or you inspire them enough to want to reach out and help you on a different level, right? You find yourself at certain companies where you don't get to network like that. Yeah. And you could be sitting out here, it's almost like having scouts in pro sports, right? And so that it puts you in those better situations for sure. Also, if you're someone who takes time for granted, to respect to learn to respect and fear time in this game.
Yeah.
Right. Because no matter how hot you are, right, if you're not sitting here making the right moves or really being gung-ho about it to a certain degree, you might get caught slipping. You never know. And then or even an injury could set you back, right? Whatever momentum you have, right? But if you're sitting here really putting that, effort forward, you'll gain some ground that hopefully that even if you get injured, you come back and people still want to uphold the respect that you had before, or the placement that you had in the game before.
Yeah, and probably. Obviously, just shut up and listen. Like everyone says it says it for a reason. Like, just shut your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Listen to people and don't be a dick about it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like in the wrestling industry, man, we got so many personalities and so much ego and so much toxic whatever the hell, right? Like, people sometimes forget, like, I can meet somebody that's fucking 15 years in this game. If he's treating me like a prick just off break just because, I'm going to say something. I don't care about. Like, fuck, I'm still a human being.
Yeah.
So know that, yes, there is a respect that you should have for people that have been in this game, but don't sit there and just be belittled because of that, because no one deserves, regardless of what it is, to ever be belittled in any scenario, at all. That's one of the big things that, like, I guess in theory, you'd say we'd have to eat crow on the actions that we were taking because of people just being assholes for no reason. Because we're not. Look,
we're not gonna just.
We're not gonna sit there. This is straight up. Yeah.
At the end of the day, right? We're people first, and we're men second. And so, when we're in that ring or in that locker room, and you want to sit there and carry yourself a certain way with us, first off, we're not gonna
anywhere.
Anywhere, exactly. Because like this is the same thing. Like even people in their everyday jobs, we feel like because someone has a superior role or they're superior, you allow them to talk to you a certain way. No, we're not those guys. Like
no one should be.
No one.
That's the thing. No one should be really.
Right. And so we sit there and we do our best to always let you know, like, hey, bro, we get that you're supposed to be the shit here.
Yeah.
But you know what? We're people, bro. Like, let's can you dial it back? And if not, then we
handle it accordingly.
Right. Exactly.
That moment is just pick a hand.
That's right. Pick a hand. I like that.
All right, man. So. Been traveling around, been in a lot of different locker rooms, so I just need to know one do and one don't of the locker room.
One don't. I would say is sit there and try to like totally like spread all your stuff around so that you like you're feeling like the most comfortable guy in the room. Right, especially when like one of the first guys. There's so many guys that do that, and it's like, bro, you really don't know how many guys are about to be here in a bit. Like, like, yo, okay, early bird catches the worm, bro. Like, totally, right? But like, damn, why is your duffel bag 5 feet away from you? Like, why'd you create this whole little perimeter?
Dark horses don't like clutter.
Yeah, like, come on, like, we can sit there.
Don't like clutter.
You know what I mean? Like, the game is what it is, and like when guys come in, especially like again going back to what I said, like what he was saying about. Just respect. Like, yeah, you could be a vet or whatever, bro. But like, yo, this is all shared space.
Yeah,
Like, you know, be a human, bro. Be a guy. Be a bro. You know what I mean? Like, damn, dude. We seen guys like one name out there, and this guy's loved by everybody. Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy got ready. He showed up late. Got ready in like the smallest space. Not late, but like showed up last. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, you showed up last.
Yeah, got a family.
Yeah,
got a big family.
So like, he got ready in the smallest space. Didn't make a deal about it. He's like, okay, this is when I'm getting ready. Yeah. Literally, like his words when he walked in the room. Yeah. Right. But you got guys over here, you know, they're like the Hulk Hogan of like the little corner, you know, that they own of wrestling, and then like, yeah. Oh, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
like that. Oh, man. But yeah, I think for me it would probably be let's wash your gear. Oh my god, please wash your gear. Wash your gear and the shit you come out to, your out gear. You know what I'm saying? Like, watch that too. Like, just do it.
Oh,
like,
entrance gear, because entrance gear gets missed a lot.
Entrance gear, people are like, I only wear it out. But it's like, you're nervous, you're sweating. You know, you put the baby oil, the hair, you know, whatever. Just wash the joint, bro. Like there's nothing more to say. Just do it. You know what I mean? Just wash it.
And if you see any opportunity to help somebody out, you know, clearly nothing like outrageous, right? But like, you see a guy sitting there worried about, oh my gosh, maybe they're in a situation they need some scissors, right? You got them? Why not?
Yeah.
Right?
Have some extra tape? Sure.
Yeah, tape, whatever, right? Like things like that. It goes a long way, right? And because even if you sitting there want to be selfish with your resources, right? Eventually, like, you might become the guy. Like, this is the guy. He's always prepared. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, be honest, Gary. Like, anybody's like, we need something. That's the guy right there, right? And immediately, you know, I mean, say that allow yourself to be used, but people see, if he's this prepared, then that means he has a special dedication to our craft. Like, little things like that stand out. You know it, right? You hear it all the time. So yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like I always provide everyone with tape, you know? Like every single show.
Yeah. You want tape, you come to him.
Come to me. I always have it. No, I never. That's one of my big don'ts is I always forget tape. So I'm always that dude. Like, hey man, please, like, just a little bit. Just give me a piece, man. Let me get a piece of that tape, man.
It's funny you mentioned, because like at the shows, like at all the shows, right? Like I have like things like all the time with me, right? So like I remember Prince Machiavelli, like he's my brother, right?
Good guy.
Yeah. He was just like, he's like, Cliff, you got any tape? And by that time, like other people in the locker room were hearing it too. And I was like, yeah, what color do you want? And he was just like, you got black? And I was like, yeah. So I threw like a roll of black tape. Everybody's like, hey, do you have this color? Like I have a blue roll, I have a white one, I have a pink one. Yeah, I got these rolls.
They start throwing off the back of the Crayola box joints. Like, you got magenta? What about turquoise? You know what I'm saying? Like, what about sunset? Yeah, like.
I like buy this random tape just because like I'll see a roll, it's like pretty cheap. I'm like, let me pick that up. I don't know when I'm going to use it, but I might.
You may be a hoarder. You may be a hoarder.
That may be. That might be why my wrestling bag is so heavy.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
Just loaded with tape.
Goods, just right. On the whole shelf.
Yeah, right. These dumbbells are going to be used in the match eventually. They got to be.
It's a gimmick. It's a gimmick.
Right. Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah.
Hey, so those are all my heavy hitting questions, but we do got to get into the second best segment of this podcast. You're probably wondering what the first is. It's the Red Dogs Power Rankings that you can find every Sunday on our debate show. So, be in tune with that. But this is the 10 count questions, the 3 count podcast 10 count questions. And this is how it works. I'm going to fire off 10 questions at you guys rapid fast. And whatever your guys' answers are, that's your answers.
Okay.
So we got to come quick.
Yeah.
Micro specialty, baby.
Man, thank you, man.
5 kids, I would expect you to at least have like some template now.
The reason when your baby mom's favorite tag.
So these like one-word answers, or like what is?
That's really kind of your choice. I'm not really going to hold you to it. So, but we are going to put on an imaginary timer for added pressure. Bing, and here we go. SmackDown or Raw?
SmackDown.
Yeah.
It's the
favorite movie.
Goodfellas. Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah, Jay and Silent Bob. I was about to say, yeah, I was going Jay and Silent Bob. Superbad.
Sonic or Mario?
Sonic.
Mario.
Sonic.
Mario.
That's crazy.
Mario.
Favorite color?
Green.
Navy blue.
Night owl or early bird?
Night owl.
Night owl.
You know how we do.
Yeah.
So you see the bags for a
Come
reason,
on, baby. We got to celebrate after we win,
That's
dude.
right.
Come on.
Favorite submission?
Indian Deathlock, baby.
Somebody's girlfriend.
Hey.
Yo. So no,
Earmuffs, children.
yeah, for sure. A sharpshooter, but only when it's somebody who has that as their finish.
PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation.
Xbox.
Favorite podcast?
Dog, 3 count, baby.
Three count,
Podcast right
baby.
there.
1,
Come
2,
on.
3.
1, 2, 3, baby. We got it on here. What you mean?
Right. It's not like we're like marketing everywhere about where we
No,
are.
there's only one logo, I think, right?
Nominate one person that you want to see on this podcast.
Wait.
240.
EWA roster wise, who have you had already? Because I don't want to say somebody you already had.
Well, let's be. So now you guys, right? We've had obviously pure ignorance, right? Because Chaz and myself are friends, and well, he's my brother. I pick on him all the time. And then Prince, we've also had on. We've also had the new one, Noah Idol, who's attached to him. TJ Sykes has been on. Let's see who else has been on. Rico has been on.
Okay, Rico. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
I think I know you're gonna say.
yeah. There's only 2. I mean, Sly Scarp. Like you have to get Sly on here. Like,
all right, these are the 2 then.
You don't understand. So
okay,
and the other one
is
Corey.
Corey.
Yeah. So
Sly,
like, look, Corey Bush, Sly Scarpone, and the Dark Horses are the muscle money in the mass. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know the muscle is big. Oh, I'm bad for your health. You know what I'm saying? Rocky Balboa, youngin. Of course. You know, mass is obviously Corey Bush. The dude's like 800 million pounds. And then the money. You know what I'm saying? Look at these faces.
Right here, baby.
Look at these faces. You know what I'm saying?
You're blessed we didn't put down the locks either. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So like the muscle money, we've had some very interesting nights.
Look, if there's ever been a warning for a faction to exist, this is it.
Yeah.
The day anyone makes this happen, like, no, we're taking over.
I'm excited because, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, obviously he had the big feud with Corey Bush. You know, we only got to work Sly once in a tag match with Cole at the Sweet 16 tag.
No, and what's the ATCW?
And ACW, right. But so I'm going for the heavyweight after winning the tournament, obviously.
You're getting a one-on-one with Sly.
So I got to get a one-on-one with him. I'm very excited about that on May 21st. So that's going to be interesting. But so I get to see me masters having the money. You feel me? So that's going to be fun. But definitely Sly Scarpone. That dude will give you sound bites 4 days.
Yeah.
Like 4 days.
And Corey will too. Yeah.
It'll be a very controversial episode with Sly, but it'll be really funny. It'll be really controversial.
It's like you're talking to the Johnny Lawrence of like pro wrestling. Like you know,
it's the perfect description of what he will give you. For sure.
And then last but not least, my favorite question to ask anybody who comes on this podcast, favorite curse word.
Shit.
Like I knew I was gonna get 2 different answers. I was like, yeah. Of course, top two curse words of like all time. You gotta have
for sure.
Yeah.
And one of them's totally fun to do.
Oh, all the time.
And the other
one relaxes you, so it's good.
Yeah, they help in both ways.
Dark Horse is always about coming and going out. You know what I mean?
Yeesh.
That's the bit
on that one.
That's exactly the bit.
Do you censor this, by the way?
Yeah. I didn't even ask you. Is this a kids program?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay,
Definitely not. And I'm definitely gonna mark that button today on YouTube. Hey, so let all of our listeners and our viewers know where they can find you.
You know the stips.
On Instagram at @the_dark_horses at 2XTMHK. For those that you don't know, Tomahawk is spelled TMHK.
Yeah.
No need for vowels when you this money.
That's
you
right.
feel me?
Don't need that.
And then for me, it is at _Grizzly_O. And on Facebook, just look up the Dark Horses. It'll be the one with our glorious faces on it, and it'll say your baby mother's favorite tag team.
As it should. And don't forget to check out ProWrestlingTees.com. Dark Horses shop on there. We got some nice merch.
Also, you know what? You gotta check out one of the guys that definitely puts his hand on our merch and make sure that he makes us look as good as we do at ENV Original on Instagram. You see our faces on our merch, and he's part of the reason why it happens, right? And this guy's a wizard behind the computer too, though. I will say that. So.
Oh, stop. You're making me blush. No, and definitely check out that YouTube. We're definitely going to be working on it soon.
Yes, that is in the works.
It's in the works. Apologize for it. It's been in the works for a while, but it's happening. It's happening. So definitely tune in and check it out.
Right. Well, there you guys have it. They gave you everything that they're going to be a part of, and they tell you where you guys can find them. So you know what that means. Like every great part of a wrestling match, we got to take this home. Because this is the 3 Count Podcast presents Now Entering, and I am your host, Clifford Red Dog Miller, the man that leads you up this mountain called wrestling. But like every good Sherpa, which by now you would be calling me because you know better, it's never about me. It's about who's entering, because you have to have a good Sherpa to lead you there. So they've been there, they've done that, they can do it better than I can. So that's why they came on. You guys see them right next to me. It is the Dark Horses, and you guys know what to do. Tune into the next episode and be there. Or you just wait for this episode to end. You wait for that outro, and then you choose another episode to listen to.
Is it over here?
One of them.
Over here?
Is it
over here or like over there? There's a bunch of them all over the place.
They hit that whole aisle like right
There's
next
like a whole
to
bunch
us.
of them. Look at that. Oh my gosh, we almost got hit in the head, bro. Duck, bro.
What's going on, 3 Count Nation? I'm Clifford Red Dog Miller with the catchphrase. But what I really want you to do right now, go to twitter.com, right? Go over there, find us at the 3count_pod, give us a follow, give us a like, give us a comment. We want to talk to you guys. Go to IG at the 3 Count Pod. Give us a like, give us a follow, leave us a comment. We want to interact with you. Go to youtube.com, give us a subscribe, turn the bell on, turn the notifications, leave a comment. We want to talk to you. Go to anchor.fm/the 3 Count Podcast, and in there, you can leave us a message, and we will talk to you. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is that we want to talk to you. We want to have fun with you guys, and we love listening to what you guys have to say. Also, one thing I need you to do for me, the 3 Count Podcast also has merchandise. Oh! At ProWrestlingTees.com/the 3 Count Pod. Please go buy our t-shirts. We love you guys, and we hope you love us too. So show us some support, please.